Have you ever heard a native speaker say something like, "Stop being a chicken," or "Don't be a snake," and had no idea what they meant? Today, you're going to learn 10 animal idioms that native speakers use constantly in real conversations. And I promise you, once you learn these, you'll start hearing them everywhere. Hello, and welcome to Daily English Edge. I'm your English teacher, and today we're focusing on animal idioms. These are expressions that use animal words but have completely different meanings from the literal animals. If you want to speak English fluently and understand native speakers better, you absolutely need to know these. Let's begin. Our first idiom is let the cat out of the bag. This means to reveal a secret or tell someone something that was supposed to stay private. For example, if your friend was planning a surprise party for you and someone told you about it, they let the cat out of the bag. Here's a real example. I was trying to keep my new job a secret until Friday, but my mom let the cat out of the bag at dinner yesterday. Notice we use let the cat out of the bag as the main verb. It's something someone does accidentally or sometimes on purpose. Next, we have busy as a bee. This idiom describes someone who is extremely busy and working hard on many things. When you're busy as a bee, you're very productive and always doing something. For instance, Sarah has been busy as a bee preparing for her wedding. She's handling invitations, decorations, food, everything. You can also say someone is as busy as a bee or simply busy as a bee. Native speakers use this constantly when they want to say someone is really occupied and working hard. This one is important. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. This means don't make plans or get excited about something that hasn't happened yet. It's a warning against being overconfident. Imagine you applied for a job but haven't gotten the offer yet. Your friend says, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Wait until they officially hire you." Here's another example. He started spending money he thought he'd win in the lottery, but his mom told him, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." This idiom teaches us to be realistic and patient. When someone has a frog in their throat, it means they have trouble speaking clearly, usually because they have a cold, dry throat, or they're sick. You've probably experienced this yourself. Here's how native speakers use it. Mike tried to give a presentation, but he had a frog in his throat, so nobody could understand him. Another example, I have a frog in my throat today. I might skip the meeting because I can't talk properly. This is a very common expression in everyday English, especially when someone is sick or hoarse. When you feel like a fish out of water, you feel uncomfortable or out of place in a situation. Imagine a fish trying to survive outside of water. That's how someone feels when they're in an unfamiliar or uncomfortable environment. For example, on my first day at the new company, I felt like a fish out of water. Everyone knew each other, and I didn't understand the office culture. Another example. My grandmother visited the big city for the first time and felt like a fish out of water. Everything was too crowded and noisy for her. This expression is very useful when you want to describe feeling uncomfortable or not belonging. This classic idiom teaches us that the early bird gets the worm. It means that if you start something early or arrive early, you get better results or advantages. Native speakers use this to encourage people to be punctual and proactive. Here's an example. If you want good seats for the concert, get there early. The early bird gets the worm. Another situation. I woke up at 6 and went to the gym before work. The early bird gets the worm, so I got a good parking spot and all the equipment was available. Parents often tell their kids this idiom to teach them the importance of being early and prepared. This idiom says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It means that it's very difficult to change someone's habits or way of thinking, especially if they've been doing something the same way for a long time. For example, my uncle refuses to use a smartphone. He says, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks." Another example, I tried to teach my boss the new software, but he prefers the old system. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Now be careful with this expression. You should only use it when talking about habits and change, not to be rude about someone's age. Native speakers understand this. When someone tells you to hold your horses, they're asking you to slow down, be patient, or wait a moment before doing something. It means don't rush. Here's a real situation. I told my friend I wanted to quit my job. And he said, "Hold your horses. Think about it first." Another example. The kids were running toward the candy store, but I told them, "Hold your horses. We need to talk to mom first." Native speakers use this very casually in conversations. You might also hear "hold up" or "wait a second," but "hold your horses" is more colorful and sounds more natural in everyday speech. When someone is doing monkey business, they're being silly, playful, or sometimes dishonest in a mischievous way. This phrase can be used in two ways. First, playfully. The kids were doing monkey business in the living room, jumping on the couch. But it can also mean something dishonest. "I think there's some monkey business going on at that company. They won't show us their financial records." Pay attention to context because native speakers use it both ways. The tone of their voice tells you whether they mean it playfully or seriously. Finally, straight from the horse's mouth means information that comes directly from the original source, someone who really knows. It's the most reliable information. Here's an example. "I heard from my cousin that the company is hiring. She got this straight from the horse's mouth because she works in HR." Another example. "Don't believe the rumors. Wait until you hear the official announcement straight from the horse's mouth." Native speakers use this to indicate that the information is trustworthy and comes from someone who has direct knowledge. It's a great phrase for emphasizing credibility. There you have it. 10 animal idioms that native speakers use every single day. These expressions will help you speak English more naturally and understand conversations better. The best way to learn is to practice. Try using one of these idioms in your next conversation. Leave a comment below and tell me which animal idiom you like the best. Subscribe to Daily English Edge for a new English lesson every single day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.